Chapter 5 of 8 Pillars of Prosperity by James Allen. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Andrea Fiore. Chapter 5. Fourth Pillar. System. System is that principle of order by which confusion is rendered impossible. In the natural and universal order everything is in its place, so that the vast universe runs more perfectly than the most perfect machine. Disorder in space would mean the destruction of the universe, and disorder in a man's affairs destroys his work and his prosperity. All complex organizations are built up by system. No business or society can develop into large dimensions apart from system, and this system is preeminently the instrument of the merchant,
8 Pillars of
the
Prosperity,
and the organizer.
This is a
of
LibriVox
institutions.
recording. All
There are many
LibriVox
departments
recordings are in the
which a
public
disorderly man
domain.
may succeed.
For more
Although
information
attention to
or to
order would
volunteer,
increase his success,
please visit
he will not succeed in business unless he can
LibriVox.org.
place the business
Recording by
entirely
Andrea
in the hands of a
Fiore.
systematic manager.
8 Pillars of
who will thereby
Prosperity
remedy his
by
own
James
defect.
Allen.
All
Preface.
large business concerns
It is
have been
popularly
evolved along
supposed
definitely drawn
that a greater
systematic
prosperity
lines,
for individuals
any
or
violation
nations
of which
can only
would be
come through
disastrous
political and
to the
social
efficiency
reconstruction.
and welfare of the business.
This cannot be true
Complex
apart from the
business
practice
or
of the
other
moral
organizations
virtues in the
are built
individuals
up
that
like
comprise a
complex
nation.
bodies in nature.
Better
by
laws and
scrupulous
social
attention to
conditions
details.
will always follow a
The
higher
disorderly
realization
man
of
thinks he can be
morality among the
careless about
individuals of a
everything to the
community.
end.
But no
by
legal
ignoring the
enactment can
means,
give
he
prosperity
frustrates
to,
the end.
nay,
By the
it cannot
disarrangement
prevent
of
the ruin
details,
of a
organisms
man or a
perish,
nation
and by the
that has
careless
become
neglect of
lax and
details,
decadent
the
in
growth
the
of any
pursuit
work
and
or
practice of
concern is
virtue.
prevented.
The moral virtues
Disorderly
are the
people waste an
foundation and
enormous
support
amount
of
time and
prosperity,
energy.
as they are the
Time
soul of
frittered away in
greatness.
hunting for things
They
is
endure
sufficient,
forever,
or if it can
and all the
served
works
by
of a
order
man which
to
endure
enable
are
them to
built
achieve
upon
any
them.
success.
Without
For
them,
slovenly
there is
people never
neither
have a place
strength,
for anything
stability,
and have
nor
to hunt,
substantial
frequently
reality,
for a long
but only
time,
ephemeral
for any
dreams.
article that they require.
To find moral principles
In the irritation, bad humor, and chagrin which this daily hunting for things brings about, as much energy is dissipated as would be required to build up a big business, or scale the highest heights of achievement in any direction. Orderly people conserve both their time and energy. They never lose anything, and therefore never have to find anything. Everything is in its place, and the hand can be at once placed upon it, though it may be in the dark. They can well afford to be cool and deliberate, and so use their mental energies in something more profitable than irritation, bad temper, and accusing others for their own lack of order. There is a kind of genius in system which can perform apparent wonders with ease. A systematic man can get through so great a quantity of work in such a short time and with such freedom from such exhaustion as to appear almost miraculous. He scales the heights of success while his slovenly competitor is wallowing hopelessly in the bogs of confusion. His strict observance to the law of order enables him to reach his ends, swiftly and smoothly, without friction or loss of time. The demands of system, in all departments of the business world, are as rigid and exacting as the holy vows of a saint, and cannot be violated in the smallest particular, but at the risk of one's financial prospects. In the financial world, the law of order is an iron necessity.
Preface of
and
8
he who
Pillars of
faultlessly observes
Prosperity.
it saves time,
This is a
temper,
LibriVox
and money.
recording. All
Every
LibriVox
enduring
recordings are in the
achievement
public
human
domain.
society rests
For
upon
more
a basis of
information
system.
or to
So true
volunteer,
is this,
please
that were
visit
system withdrawn, progress would cease.
LibriVox.org.
Think, for instance,
Recording by Andrea
of the vast
Fiore.
achievements of literature,
8 Pillars
the
of
works classic
Prosperity
authors
by
and of
James
great
Allen.
geniuses, great
Preface.
poems, the innumerable
It is
prose
popularly
works, the
supposed
monumental
that a greater
histories.
prosperity for
Think
individuals
also
or
the social
nations
intercourse of
can
human
only come
society,
through political and
of its
social
religions,
reconstruction.
its legal statutes,
This cannot be true
and its vast
apart from
fund
the
of book
practice of the
knowledge.
moral virtues
Think of all
in
these
the
wonderful
individuals that
resources
comprise a
and achievements of
nation.
language,
Better
and
laws
reflect
and
that they
social
all depend
conditions
for their
will
origin,
always follow a
growth,
higher
and
realization
continuance
of morality
on the
among the
systematic
individuals of a
arrangement 26
community.
letters,
But
an
no
arrangement
legal
having
enactment can give
inexhaustible
prosperity
and
to,
illimitable results,
nay,
by the
it
fact
cannot
of its
prevent the
rigid
ruin of,
limitation within
a
certain
man
fixed
or a
rules.
nation that has become
Again,
lax
all
and
the wonderful
decadent in the
achievements of
pursuit and
mathematics
practice of
have come
virtue.
from the systematic
The moral
arrangement of 10
virtues are the
figures,
foundation
while
and
the most
support of
complex piece of
prosperity,
machinery,
as they are the
with
soul
its
of
thousands
greatness.
of parts,
They
working
endure
together
forever,
smoothly
and all the
almost
works of a
noiselessly
man which
to the
endure are built
achievement of
upon
the end
them.
for which it was designed.
Without them,
was
there is
brought
neither
forth by the
strength,
systematic
stability,
observance of a
nor
few
substantial
mechanical laws.
reality, but only
Herein we see
ephemeral
how system
dreams.
simplifies
To find
that
moral
which is complex, how it makes easy that which was difficult, how it relates an infinite variety of details of the one central law or order, and so enables them to be dealt with and accounted for with perfect regularity and with an entire absence of confusion. The scientist names and classifies the myriad details of the universe, from the microscopic rotifer to the telescopic star, by his observance of the principles of system, so that out of many millions of objects, reference can be made to any object in, at most, a few minutes. It is this faculty of speedy references and swift dispatch which is of such overwhelming importance in every department of knowledge and industry, and the amount of time and labor thus saved to humanity is so vast as to be incomprehensible. We speak of religious, political, and business systems, and so on, indicating all things in human society are welded together by the adhesive qualities of order. System is, indeed, one of the great fundamental principles in progress, and in the binding together, in one complete whole, of the world's millions of human beings, while they are at the same time each striving for a place, and are competing with one another in opposing aims and interest. We see here how system is allied with greatness, for the many separate units whose minds are untrained to the discipline of system are kept in their
Preface
places
of 8 Pillars
by the
of
organizing
Prosperity.
power of the comparatively
This is a
few
LibriVox
who perceive
recording.
the urgent and
All
inescapable
LibriVox recordings are in the public
for the
domain.
establishment of fixed
For
and
more
inviolable
information
rules,
or to
whether in
volunteer,
business, law,
please visit
religion, science, or politics.
LibriVox.org.
In fact,
Recording
in every
by
sphere
Andrea
of human
Fiore.
activity, for
8
immediately
Pillars
when
of
two human
Prosperity
beings meet
by
together,
James Allen.
they need some common ground
Preface.
of understanding for the
It
avoidance
is popularly
of confusion.
supposed
In a
that a
word,
greater
some
prosperity for
system
individuals
to
or
regulate their
nations
actions.
can only come through political
Life
and
is too
social
short for
reconstruction.
confusion,
This
and
cannot be
knowledge
true
grows and progress
apart from the
proceeds
practice of the moral
along avenues
virtues
of
in the
system
individuals that
which prevent
comprise a nation.
retardation and retrogression.
Better laws and
So
social
that he who
conditions
systematizes
will
his
always follow a
knowledge or
higher
business
realization of
simplifies
morality among
and
the
enhances it
individuals
for
of a
his successor,
community.
enabling
But no
him to
legal
begin
enactment can
with
give
a free mind
prosperity to,
where he left off.
nay, it
Every
cannot
large
prevent the
business
ruin
has
of,
its system,
a man
which
or a
renders its
nation
vast machinery
that has become
workable,
lax and
enabling
decadent
it to run
in the
like
pursuit
a
and
well-balanced
practice
and
of
well-oiled
virtue.
machine.
The moral virtues
remarkable
are the
businessman,
foundation and
a
support
friend
of
of mine,
prosperity,
once told
as
me
they are the soul
that
of
he could leave his
greatness.
huge business
They
for
endure
12 months,
forever,
and it would
and
run
all the
on
works of
without
a man
hitch
which
till his
endure are
return.
built upon them.
And he does occasionally
Without
leave
them,
it for several
there is
months
neither
while
strength,
traveling.
stability,
And on his
nor
return,
substantial
every
reality,
man, boy
but
and
only
girl,
ephemeral
every
dreams.
tool, book, and machine,
To find moral
every
principles
detail down to the smallest, is in its place doing its work as when he left, and no trouble, no difficulty, no confusion has arisen. There can be no marked success part of a love of regularity and discipline, and the avoidance of friction, along with the restfulness and the efficiency of mind which spring from such regularity. People who abhor discipline, whose minds are ungoverned and anarchic, and who are careless and irregular in their thinking, their habits, and the management of their affairs, cannot be highly successful and prosperous, and they fill their lives with numerous worries, troubles, difficulties, and petty annoyances, all of which would disappear under a proper regulation of their lives. An unsystematic mind is an untrained mind, and it can no more cope with well-disciplined minds in the race of life than an untrained athlete can successfully compete with a carefully trained competitor in athletic races. The ill-disciplined mind, who thinks anything will do, rapidly falls behind the well-disciplined minds, who are convinced that only the best will do, in the strenuous race for the prizes of life, whether they be material, mental, or moral prizes. The man who, when he comes to do his work, is unable to find his tools, or balance his figures, or to find the key of his desk, or the key to his thoughts, will be struggling in his self-made toils, while his methodical neighbor will be freely and joyfully scaling the invigorating heights of successful achievement. The businessman whose method is slovenly, or cumbersome, or behind the most recent developments of skilled minds, should only blame himself as his prospects are decadent, and should wake up to the necessity for more highly specialized and effective methods in his concern. He should seize upon everything, every invention and idea that will enable him to economize time and labor, and aid him in thoroughness, deliberation, and dispatch. System is the law by which everything, every organism,
Preface of 8 Pillars of
nation,
Prosperity.
empire is
This
built
is a LibriVox
by adding
recording.
cell to cell,
All LibriVox
department to
recordings are in the
department,
public
thought
domain.
to thought,
For more
law to law,
information
and
or
colony
to volunteer,
colony, in
please
orderly
visit
sequence and classification.
LibriVox.org.
All things, concerns, and
Recording by
institutions
Andrea
grow in
Fiore.
magnitude and
8
evolve to
Pillars of
completeness.
Prosperity by
The
James
man who is
Allen.
continually improving
Preface.
his methods is gaining and
It is
building power.
popularly supposed
It therefore
that a
behooves
greater
the businessman
prosperity
to
for
be
individuals
resourceful
or
and
nations
inventive
can
in the
only come
improvement
through
of his
political and
methods.
social
For the
reconstruction.
builders, whether of
This cannot be
cathedrals or
true
characters,
apart from the practice
business
of
or
the moral
religions,
virtues
are
in the
strong
individuals
ones of
that
the
comprise a
earth,
nation.
the protectors and pioneers
Better
of
laws and
humanity.
social
The
conditions
systematic
will
builder
always
is the
follow a
creator and
higher
preserver,
realization of
while the man
morality
of
among the
disorder
individuals
demolishes
of a
and
community.
destroys, and
But no
limit
legal
can be set to the
enactment
growth
can
of
give
a man's
prosperity
powers,
to,
the completeness of
nay,
his character,
it cannot prevent the ruin
influence
of,
his organization,
a man or a
the
nation
extent of his
that has
business.
become lax
If he
and
but
decadent
preserve
in the
intact
pursuit and practice
discipline
of
of
virtue.
order, and have every
The moral
detail in its
virtues are the
place,
foundation
keep
and
every
support of
department to its
prosperity,
special task,
as they are the
and
soul of
tabulate and
greatness.
classify
They
with
endure
such
forever,
efficiency and perfection,
and all the works of
as
a
to
man which
enable him
endure
at
are
any
built
moment
upon them.
to bring under
Without them,
examination
there is
or
neither
into
strength,
requisition
stability,
to the remotest
nor
detail
substantial
connection with his
reality,
special
but
work.
only ephemeral
In system
dreams.
is contained these
To
four
find moral
ingredients. 1. Readiness. 2. Accuracy. 3. Utility. 4. Comprehensiveness. Readiness is aliveness. It is that spirit of alertness by which a situation is immediately grasped and dealt with. The observance of system fosters and develops this spirit. The successful general must have the power of readily meeting any new and unlooked-for move on the part of the enemy. So every businessman must have the readiness to deal with any unexpected development affecting his line of trade. And so also must the man of thought be able to deal with the details of any new problems which may arise. Dilatoriness is a vice that is fatal to prosperity, for it leads to incompatibility and stupidity. The men of ready hands, ready hearts, and ready
Preface
brains
of 8 Pillars
know
of
what they are
Prosperity.
do it methodically,
This is a LibriVox
skillfully,
recording.
and with smooth
All
yet
LibriVox
consummate
recordings are in the
dispatch,
public
while the men who
domain.
need to think little
For
of
more
prosperity as
information
an end,
or to
for it comes to
volunteer,
them whether they
please
seek it or
visit
not. Success runs after them and
LibriVox.org.
knocks at their door.
Recording
and they
by Andrea
unconsciously
Fiore.
commanded by the
8
superb
Pillars of
excellence their
Prosperity
faculties
by
and
James
methods.
Allen.
Accuracy
Preface.
is of supreme importance.
It is
in all commercial
popularly
concerns and
supposed that a
enterprises.
greater
But
prosperity
there
for
can be no
individuals or
accuracy apart from
nations
system,
can only come through
and a
political
system
and
which is
social
more or less
reconstruction.
imperfect
This
will
cannot
involve
be
its
true
originator in
apart from the
mistakes,
practice of the
more or
moral
less
virtues
disastrous,
in the individuals
until
that
he improves
comprise
it.
a nation.
Inaccuracy
Better
is one of the
laws and
commonest
social
failings,
conditions
because
will always
accuracy
follow a
is
higher
closely allied to
realization of
self-discipline
morality among the
and
individuals of a
self-discipline,
community.
along with that glad
But no legal
subjection to
enactment
external
can give
discipline which it
prosperity to,
involves.
nay,
Is an
it
indication of
cannot
high
prevent the
moral
ruin
culture,
of,
to
a
which the
man or a
majority have not yet
nation
attained.
that has become
If
lax
the
and
inaccurate
decadent
man will
in the
not
pursuit
willingly
and
subject
practice of
himself
virtue.
to the discipline of
The
his
moral
employer or
virtues are the
instructor,
foundation and
but thinks
support
he
of
knows
prosperity,
better, his
as they
failing
are
can
the
never
soul
be
of
remedied,
greatness.
and he will
They
thereby
endure
bind himself
forever,
down to an
and all the
inferior
works of a
position,
man
if
which
in a
endure
business
are built
world,
upon them.
or to imperfect
Without
knowledge.
them, there is
in the
neither
world of
strength, stability,
The
nor
prevalence of the
substantial
vice of
reality,
inaccuracy,
but only
and in view
ephemeral
of its
dreams.
disastrous effect,
To find
it must
moral
be regarded as a vice, though perhaps one of the lesser vices, is patent to every observer in the way in which the majority of people relate a circumstance or repeat a simple statement of fact. It is nearly always made untrue by more or less marked inaccuracies. Few people, perhaps, not reckoning those who deliberately lie, have trained themselves to be accurate in what they say, or are so careful as to admit and state their liability to error. And from this common form of inaccuracy, many untruths and misunderstandings arise. More people take pains to be accurate in what they do than in what they say, but even here inaccuracy is very common, rendering many inefficient and incompetent, and unfitting them for any strenuous and well-sustained endeavor. The man who habitually uses up a portion of his own or his employer's time in trying to correct his errors, or for the correction of those mistakes another has to be employed, is not the man to maintain any position in the workaday world, much less to reach a place among the ranks of the prosperous. There never yet lived a man who did not make some mistakes on his way to his particular success, but he is the capable and right-minded man who perceives his mistakes
of
and quickly
8
remedies
Pillars of
them,
Prosperity.
and he was glad when they are
This is a
pointed out to
LibriVox
him.
recording.
It is habitual
All
and
LibriVox
persistent,
recordings are in the public
inaccuracy which is a
domain.
vice,
For
and
more
he is the
information
incapable and
or
wrong-minded
to volunteer,
man who will not
please
see or admit
visit
his mistakes, and who takes offense when they are
LibriVox.org.
pointed out to him.
Recording by
The
Andrea
progressive man
Fiore.
learns by his own
8
mistakes,
Pillars
as
of
well as by the
Prosperity
mistakes of
by
others.
James Allen.
He is always ready to
Preface.
test good advice by practice.
It is popularly
and aims at
supposed
greater and
that a
ever
greater
greater
prosperity
accuracy
for
in his
individuals
methods,
or
which
nations
means higher
can
and
only
higher
come through
perfection.
political and
For
social
accuracy
reconstruction.
is perfect,
This cannot
and the
be
measure of
true
a man's
apart from the
accuracy
practice of
will
the
be the
moral
measure of his
virtues in the
uniqueness and
individuals that
perfection.
comprise a nation.
Utility,
Better
or
laws and
usefulness,
social
is the
conditions
direct
will
result of
always
method
follow
in
a
one's
higher
work.
realization of
Labor
morality
arrives
among
at
the
fruitful and
individuals of a
profitable
community.
ends when it is
But no legal
systematically
enactment
pursued.
can give
If
prosperity
the gardener
too.
is to gather
Nay,
the best produce,
it cannot prevent the
he
ruin
must not
of
only sow and
a man
plant,
or a
but he
nation
must sow and
that has
plant at the
become
right
lax
time.
and
And
decadent
if any
in
work
the
is to be
pursuit
fruitful
and
in
practice of
results,
virtue.
it must be done
The moral
seasonably,
virtues are the
and the
foundation
time
and
for doing
support
a
of
thing must
prosperity,
not be allowed
as
to
they are
pass
the soul
by.
of greatness.
Utility
They
considers
endure
the practical
forever,
end,
and all
and
the
employs
works
the
of a
best
man
means
which
to reach
endure
that
are built
end.
upon them.
It avoids side
Without
issues,
them, there is
dispenses
neither
with
strength,
theories,
stability,
and retains its
nor
hold
substantial
only on those
reality,
things which can be
but only
appropriated to
ephemeral
good use
dreams.
in the economy of
To
life.
find moral principles,
Unpractical people burden their minds with useless and unverifiable theories, and court failure by entertaining speculations which, by their very nature, cannot be applied in practice. The man whose powers are shown in what he does, and not in mere talking or arguing, avoids metaphysical quibbling and quandaries, and applies himself to the accomplishment of some good and useful end. That which cannot be reduced to practice should not be allowed to hamper the mind. It should be thrown aside, abandoned, and ignored. A man recently told me that if his theory should be proved to have no useful end, he should still retain his hold upon it as a beautiful theory. If a man chooses to cling to so-called beautiful theories, which are proved to have no use in life, and no substantial basis of reality, he must not be surprised if he fails in his worldly undertakings, for he is an unpractical man. When the powers of mind are diverted from speculative theorizing to practical doing, whether in material or moral directions, skill, power, knowledge, and prosperity increase. A man's prosperity is measured by his usefulness to the community, and a man is useful in accordance with what he does, and not because of the theories which he entertains. The carpenter fashions a chair, the builder erects a house, the mechanic produces a machine, and the wise man molds a perfect character. Not the schismatic, the theorists, and the controversialists, but the workers, the makers, and the doers are the salt of the earth. Let a man turn away from the mirage of intellectual speculation, and begin to do something, and to do it with all his might, and he will thereby gain a special knowledge, wield a special power, and reach his own unique position and prosperity among his fellows. Comprehensiveness is that quality of mind which enables a man to deal with a large number of related details, to grasp them in their entirety, along with the single principle which governs them and binds them together, It is a masterly quality, giving organizing and governing power, and is developed by systematic attention to details. The successful merchant holds in his mind, as it were, all the details of his business, and regulates them by a system adapted to his particular form of trade. The inventor has in his mind all the details of his machine, along with their relation to a central mechanical principle, and so perfects his invention. The author of a great poem or story relates all his characters and incidents to a central plot, and so produces a composite and enduring literary work. Comprehensiveness is analytic and synthetic capacity combined in the same individual. A capacious and well-ordered mind holds within its silent depths an army of
Preface
details
of 8
in their
Pillars
proper
of Prosperity.
arrangement and true working order.
This is a
Is
LibriVox
the mind that is
recording.
near to genius,
All LibriVox
even if it
recordings
has
are in
not
the public
already arrived.
domain. For
A
more
man cannot be a
information
genius,
or to
nor does he
volunteer,
need to be,
please
but he can
visit
be gradually evolving his mental capacity
LibriVox.org.
by careful attention
Recording
to
by
systems,
Andrea
thoughts, and
Fiore.
business.
8
And
Pillars
as his
of
intellect
Prosperity
depends and
by
broadens
James
his
Allen.
powers, will be
Preface.
intensified in his
It
prosperity
is popularly
accentuated.
supposed that a greater
Such, then,
prosperity
are the
for
four
individuals or
corner pillars in the
nations
Temple of
can only
Prosperity,
come through
and
political
of
and social
themselves they are
reconstruction.
sufficient to permanently
This cannot be
sustain it,
true
without the
apart
addition
from the
of the
practice of the
remaining four.
moral virtues
The
in
man
the
who perfects
individuals that
himself
comprise a
in energy,
nation.
economy,
Better laws and
integrity,
social
and
conditions
system
will
will
always
achieve an
follow a
enduring
higher
success in the
realization
work
of
of his
morality
life,
among the
no matter
individuals
what
of a
the nature of
community.
that work may be.
But no legal
It
enactment
is
can give
impossible for one
prosperity
to fail who
to,
is full of
nay,
energy,
it cannot
carefully
prevent the ruin of,
economizes his time and
a man
money,
or a
and
nation
virtuously
that has
husbands
become
his
lax
vitality,
and decadent
who
in the
practices
pursuit and
unswerving
practice of
integrity,
virtue.
and who
The moral
systematizes his
virtues
work
are the
by
foundation and
first
support of
systematizing his
prosperity,
mind.
as they are the soul
Such a
of
man's
greatness.
efforts will be rightly
They endure
directed,
forever,
and that too,
and all the
with
works of a
concentrated
man which
power,
endure are
so
built
that they will
upon
be
them.
effective and fruitful.
Without them,
In
there is
addition,
neither
he will
strength,
reach a
stability,
manliness and an
nor
independent
substantial
dignity,
reality,
which will
but only
unconsciously command
ephemeral
respect and
dreams.
success,
To
and
find
will
moral
strengthen
principles,
weaker ones by its very presence in their midst. Seest thou a man diligent in business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men, says Scripture of such a one. He will not beg or whimper or complain or cynically blame others, but will be too strong and pure and upright a man to sink himself so low. And so, standing high in the nobility and integrity of his character, he will fill a high place in the world in the estimation of men. His success will be certain, and his prosperity will endure. He will stand and not fall in the battle of life. End of chapter 5. Recording by Andrea Fiore.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.